Hello, hello. Good morning. Or good evening, wherever you're watching from, or whenever you're watching from. If you don't know where that was from Spirit City's Level Up. I'll get that up in just a minute. Okay, we're gonna try this view for the first time. Debating if I should take out the chat box since there's no chat yet, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I tried to punch out some ideas yesterday. It's not I don't know what to do, it's just that like I had an idea, I put it on pause, and then I didn't make time to actually prepare it, which is not good. So in order to actually keep up and not get overwhelmed by the time limit of the challenge, what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue working on scheduling. So we have until the 4th to get everything done. I would actually reconfigure this. I think this could be done by end of day today. Yeah. And that's because all I really need to do is just figure out the plot beats, which might mean actually writing it out. I currently don't have my setup prepared to do a desktop view of my actual desk and whatever I'm writing out, but I could try and use my the notes app on the iPad instead. Just mirror it to the MacBook. That might be better actually for you guys. So I'll do that. Because I when it comes to ideation, I work a lot faster when I write it out than trying to type it out. Because I don't know, for some reason, when I try to type it out, it's like there's a little bit more pressure to it. Like it feels like I have to get. I don't. It's a little slow. I think that's what it is. It's a little slow compared to how quickly I want to write my ideas out. It also feels more final by comparison. Okay. Let's peek at that to-do list again, and I'll hide the... Okay. So the to-do list, ideally, as early as possible, we kind of want to start prototyping within this week. Like prototyping and then early implementation here, then a lot of revision. And then for the assets, I think we can also do assets at the same time here. We'll just use placeholders. Yes. And then try and be ready for submission by the 30th. So let's add a to-do here for a note, and that's just like... I'm gonna put an earlier time. I'm not gonna put the absolute last minute. Technically, last minute would be 11:59 p.m. on the 31st. But I'm going to say I should get it in by 8 p.m. Because this way, if there's any issues with the upload... Hang on. Because that date is a Thursday. Okay, so there's a chance I'm gonna be physically at work in office. So that means I'm gonna do final run by, I'm gonna say 9 p.m. And if it's good, I'll submit it by 10 p.m. Actually, I wouldn't put a time because I currently don't know how long the game is going to be running for depending on what I write. Ideally, it should take 1 to 2 hours. So I'm just gonna put submit by midnight. If no issues. Yeah. But if there's issues, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself until 12 p.m. and that's really just to try to keep myself on task. Oh wait, I have to factor in the fact that the 31st is a Friday. Yeah, okay. So I can do that morning plus lunch and then evening. So I'll do same time, 9 p.m. Yeah. I would push this earlier if I was a bit better with the project management before the jam started. Okay. Also, I really need to stress. Like, it's one thing to talk out ideas, but if you're not recording it in any way, like audio recording, handwritten recording, visual recording, make sure you actually write it down, because you say it out loud and you think you're going to remember it, but then stuff happens, you're not going to remember it. So like, be kind to your future self. Okay, so that's that. I can pop this on reading mode so I don't accidentally change something. Take that out. I'll take this out too. It's more for me and less for you. Yeah, putting everything away related to Byerlight. We're doing this today. We're not gonna do a devlog entry. Like, so what I used to do before was that anytime I did work, I would have a note related to that work. But for now, because we're just structuring the project calendar, I'm not gonna open it up yet. Because I don't want to get distracted with the note taking there before I can actually have space. Because I recently learned about the tiers of project management complications. I believe I actually have it copy pasted here from my friend. So we recently watched Noodle's documentary on strange scaffolds and their struggles to develop their dream game, Fast Reeves Can't Die. And at one point, when they're trying to assess what went wrong, Noodle explains the concept of a time bubble. So Z, having a background in production and film management, explained that it is related to identifying how long a project takes and what time you actually need to block out for it, because it's become very clear to me that that's something that I've been skipping out on doing, which is why for something like these two projects, which were supposed to be relatively small, kind of got out of control. And I don't think it's necessarily a scope issue, because I expected that some time would be needed for your first full-fledged game to learn the engine and understand how it works, especially if you don't come from a coding background. However, I still had to take into consideration the time it would take for that lack of skill to actually get something done. So like realistically, because my skill level, you know what? Let's try. Where's... Okay. I'm very sorry about this. How do I do dark mode again? I believe it is Option Shift D. There you go. I don't know why that's not set at default. I could probably look for that in the settings. You just give me one moment. Can I turn this off? I cannot. There you go. No. Okay. Okay. Where's the draw tool? Okay. So, just to remind myself. All right. So, we're gonna do tiers. So at the very top, that is a fat line. At the top, you have my... We're gonna do art. Okay. And then at the bottom, we're gonna do coding. Okay, so basically this should take less time and this should take more time. Oop. There. So in the calendar, we have 2, 3, so 4 days of the week. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just focus on that as a 5-day week because my weekends are like the least productive, ironically. Some people might find more time for all this stuff on the weekend. I cannot in my current situation. Yeah. So since coding takes more time, therefore most of this, half if not all, should be towards let me do that again. Half if not all should be code, and then less than half should be the art, because even though it might not be the polished art, I am skilled enough to be able to do like polished sketches as the final assets for this game. And then for other high level assets, I can just I can do rough sketches of those too. and then polish it afterwards. Because that's the thing with the jam, is like you can always polish the game after the fact. Some jams have like interesting rules where like you can't work on the same game after the jam, or like you can't release it after the jam, unless I read something wrong, in which case that sounds very weird and out of place. Anyway, hope that was clear. So back to this note, yeah, so the first is how long doing something actually takes. The issue is that people tend to stop here and then wonder why things go off track. Yes, so for novices like myself, it might not even be understanding how long actually something's actually going to take. You would like for something to be done within a couple days time, but stuff gets in the way, which we'll get into afterwards, because that is one of the points. Second is the above plus time for revisions and feedback, as well as time to find work slash work through things that go wrong to do them better either now or next time. The third is the above plus contingencies. People get sick slash have external things. Plans don't always go off right. A rig might break or a file might corrupt, etc., etc. So keep that in mind if you're doing this on your own. You have to plan for your own personal contingencies. So say, for example, you want to get a task done by the end of the week, but you know that at the end of the week there is also going to be a major event in your personal life and you have to attend. So what are you going to do? Well, one thing you can do is you prep for that major event beforehand so you can spend more time working on your task. Or you have to break down the task a little bit, maybe get half of it ready by that weekend and then go to your big event, or find some other kind of contingency, like maybe leaving the event early. It could be a number of different things. Lastly, you have the time bubbles, which is number 4. And that's the time it takes to even bring the whole project to the production stage, plus planning, plus everything getting done and delivered. Yes, so it is what we're doing right now. We are setting time aside to actually make the schedule and try to understand how much time everything is going to take. All right, so let's do that. We will make a new to-do. There's nothing wrong with many to-dos. So this is the original to-do list, right? I put high priority, the GDD, because ideally the GDD should have been something I got done before the jam started. And this is, again, ideally something that I would like to get done by Saturday. But I can't get that until I have the story and gameplay in mind. As well as some of the visual arts aspect of it too. Because the GDD is going to explain all of that. Okay, so this is what I originally wrote. High priority, mid priority, low priority. Low priority for this one because I really shouldn't be opening the RenPy project until I'm actually starting to prototype and implement. This prototyping is just testing the code to see if it's functional. Implementing is actually connecting it with all their existing structures inside the thing. So that's that. And then mid priority, visual concept, a visual design, concept art, and then assets. So the rough sketch of it. I would have put in time here for concept art, but that might actually be something that I am actively working on while I am trying to sketch out the outline slash script. I might actually, oh, okay, yeah, see, this is why we need a new list. It's just the title for now. Sorry about that. I paused writing that at the worst possible spot. This one I'll write out first. Okay. I think I'll use more callouts. I need to double check the thing for the callouts to know what the tags are for all of these, because I don't know if it's having issues with the theme I'm using, that it doesn't have images for some of these names. For complexity, I think I'm gonna put high. Yes. Proficiency level low. Yes. Because you know it's low when you need to double check how you're supposed to be able to define things and whatnot. It's not yet second nature. I would consider high proficiency second nature. I might have changed this to just visuals. And in here. Sorry, that's not what I meant to do. How does one describe twine? Ow. I I'd say it's kind of like a middle level complexity, and that's only because, like, yes, haven't really used it yet, so my proficiency level is low. However, its concept is actually, like, I think the application itself feels very intuitive. See here. So like, this is the start of the story, and then you could put that away. Oops. Yeah, so this is the start of the story, and I think you can branch it out however which way you want. You can organize it to be vertical, I believe, horizontal, as well as vertical. This is the next part of the story. And then we'll have okay. Then oh, what's this? Story formats. Ah. Yeah, I don't think I really need to emphasize this because I'm not gonna launch it in Twine. Hmm. Oh, direct. It's opened up my Safari. That's okay. Just I do my main browsing on Safari and I don't want to open it at risk of showing sensitive information. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So this feels familiar from like, if you remember the days of like Quizilla, it's a little bit like that. There also was a website. I can't remember if it might have been Gaia Online or it could have been maybe Neopets. I feel like it might have been Gaia, where you can like make your own, choose your own adventure game in there. Gosh, I just like. Yeah, so this is really intuitive. Huh. It made a new one. What did I do wrong here? Why did it do that? Did I type it wrong? I could just switch it. And I'll just remove this one. Ignore this. Oh, interesting. I wonder if this is due to the fact that I renamed these. That's something to look into later. I do not need to worry about that right now. How do you... Oh, you just click this and then hit delete. Okay. And then... just go there. See, this is the start of the story. Skip to the end. So we go next part. This is the middle part. Let's finally end this. It's the end of the story. The end. And if we go back, maybe this is the end of the story. Yeah, so it feels very intuitive, and one reason why I'm deciding to use this tool is because of the fact that there is a twine to renpai tool that I can use. I think I might like that. Yeah, like there's a twine to renpai tool, and I think this way at least I can organize it in a much more intuitive way. Because let me show you. I tried to just use Scrivener. This is a long-time favorite, and I'm very stubborn about this. And it's great for outlining, but then you need to write the script. I am using script writing mode, so might be more complication for me by doing this. I could probably just do it as a regular text file, and then just use formatting that is literally just renpy. But the issue there is just like, yeah, I could do that for the dialogue, but then I would have to also manually write out the code that I want to use in renpy, because otherwise it's a lot of re-editing. But honestly, that's something to worry about later. So yeah, complexity middle. So there's still stuff to learn, but it's relatively easy to try and use. I can do that small scale of a thing to test the tool. However, I have to extract it from the GitHub to use a version that's usable for Mac, because otherwise I might have to just use the browser version of Twine, because I can't sync the app version to any other device. I don't think that's inside the scope of the application. Okay. We're gonna do visuals next. You know what? Let's do one more. Speaking of Scrivener, what? It's high complexity. I'll play intermediate, because I've gotten to know the application very, very well over the few years, but there are still aspects of it that I am learning. Because technically you could use it for project management. It's just that you have to kind of look for the stuff. It's not immediately available for me to locate. It's not that intuitive, maybe. I just haven't looked hard enough. One second. Oh, I am. Okay. That's interesting. It takes a bit for the game source to show up when they switch it. I didn't know that. Okay. Actually, I don't need this. Don't need that. Which means I don't need this. Because I can just put it in here. I'll put mid. Level of detail. Variations. I'm gonna put minimal because that way I can keep it manageable. So the unique is like per character. So I'm gonna put 2. Maybe 3? No, I'm gonna put 2. I'll keep it at 2. Then I'm gonna put here. Space it. I will put low, and I'm counting that as like very sketchy, almost thumbnail-y, but like with more definition in composition and lighting, but no crazy detail. Because like my environmental design, my environment design is very, it's not as practiced as my character design, so I will not be able to dedicate as much time to it at my current level. So I will keep it at low. Variations. I'm gonna put pen. Probably just 2. 1 day, 1 night. Maybe 3 if there's also a midday. And then lastly, sorry, I just realized something. I can do research for RenPy tools. I know Phoenix Dev has a lot of these types of tools, but some of them might require a cost, so that's gonna factor in personal budgeting too, which I'm only gonna have 1 paycheck to grab from, so I gotta be really responsible until the next paycheck comes halfway through the month. Oh yes, total unique unknown pending, because until I can do the story, I'm not gonna know how many assets, how many backgrounds I'm gonna need to draw. If I keep it so that it's within a single scene, then I'm only gonna really need maybe 1 or 2, 3 at most if I decide to get funky with it. Now this one is gonna be interesting. CGs. So if you don't know visual novel design, CGs are essentially a cutscene graphics, and it's when the game hides the UI and shows you the scene from a different perspective, with usually like your main character in the scene as well, or maybe not, and it's just a unique visual that is distinct from the main gameplay visual. which means the level of detail on this one is going to be high. And the reason why I'm putting it there is because cutscene graphics are special, which means we probably need to limit this. So no variation. Okay, maybe variation. This is a very this comes down to how much time we have left. So I'm gonna put it as pending, depends on time available, right? So it could be, most likely, be out of scope. If it seems something really important to the story, I might pop it in there. It's really just like a unique CG depending on what choice you make, you know? You know what? That just made me realize. Because we know that the theme of the game is supposed to be sealed with a kiss, and that we need to have a kiss here. So if you want to have the kiss be part of the climax... Okay, don't worry about that timer. It's not to say it's the end. It is to say I need to adjust my session time so that it doesn't go into work. Because I can't do a full hour. I want to optimistically say I can do maybe 45 minutes. Okay, hopefully that doesn't screw me over. Actually, wait. Maybe I'll just do it at 40 minutes, no, 35 minutes. Yes. I'm gonna put two variations. I don't know, in my head right now, when it comes to that idea of like if we make the CG like the actual like kissing as a climax, did it say it needed a kiss, or did it just say, no, I mean it's called sealed with a kiss, right? It's supposed to be, and like the jam takes place now because they want the games to be something you can play for Valentine's Day. Yeah, one visual depiction of a kiss between two willing participants. Yes. So like it could be the romantic kiss, or it could be like a sweet kiss, or a funny kiss. So we can put two. I need to keep that low because if the LOD is high, because again, cutscene graphics very special, then there's only so much that I can do for that. So total unique again is how many distinct CGs. So I'm not talking about like a variation. A variation is just the same CG, but it's slightly different in a certain way. Totally, it's to me, unique CGs are, say you have a scene that takes place inside of a castle, right? That's gonna be completely unique from a scene that takes place in a forest. And those can have its variations, but like the setting is gonna be completely distinct. And I'm gonna factor like time of day in that one too. So this one, totally unique. I'm just gonna put it to 1. Let's keep it manageable. I have ideas of what it's going to be, especially if I incorporate the optional theme, which is Seal the Evil. So that one I have this thought of like doing a fight scene graphic, but scope, you have to keep it moderate, and I don't want to think about that until I have a better sense of what the story is going to be. I have an idea of what the game could look like once I have more time, but that is for when I have more time. And now as for this next one. So this is graphical user interface. I tend to use it interchangeably with UI, user interface, but I think user interface is any kind of user interaction, like any kind of ability for the user to interact with it, which may not necessarily be a graphical interface. So like, I think graphical interfaces are, at least the way I interpret it, are unique interface assets that's distinct, and then you have your like standard interface. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let's just move on. Level of detail, I would say standard. I'm not using the low, high, mid here because I don't want to imply that like you can have a shitty looking GUI. You need to have a good looking GUI because then otherwise the play experience is just going to be altered a little differently. But I can use like standard, not the default. Default would just be what RenPy ships with. Standard is using a pre-made template, or like a slightly detailed template. And there's some that I can use. I already have some that I'd pay for, and I can probably look for another one, hopefully free, because I might have to factor that into budgeting as well. So no variations. I could just put here, I'll just pop your cost. Yeah, because right now I cannot make my own GUI. I do not have time to design it. So I am just going to be using pre-made. I'll pop it here actually. Yeah. That means later when I actually go get one, I'm gonna be looking for standard level of detail, see the cost of that one, because if I go for a high level of detail, so these are the GUIs that completely change up the entire layout or most of the layout of RenPy's user interface. Actually, there you go, that's a better way of identifying it. User interface in any which way a user is able to interface with the application, however it is presented and however many features are available to interface with. The graphical user interface is the presentation of said user interface, which may or may not limit the user's ability to interface with the entirety of the application. So like the dev tools are disabled in some cases, or having them enabled so that you can do like mod support and whatnot. Yeah, because I believe that's what they consider fully functional mod support for some games, is actually giving modders access to the dev tools, so that it's easier for them to implement said mods. Okay, tangent over. Let's move on. I forgot about my breakfast. It's just yogurt. Okay. So I think that's everything. I just have visuals and tools now. Okay. So now that we have this, I'm gonna pop this to the side. How does this look? All right, that looks fine. And I'll probably make this smaller. There we go. So now that we have this, we can have a better idea of how to fill in the calendar. And this is kind of I'll probably work on the tagging system after the fact it's just I need to add the notes right here instead of having to jump into the binder every single time. I know there's a setting to help identify where new notes are supposed to go, but that is not the time for this right now because we need to finish this calendar before we are out of time. And we are almost out of time. Oh, it's so bright! I'm sorry, you guys. If that's really a bother, I'm gonna turn that off. I just have it set to auto. But I don't mind just sticking with dark mode. Okay. So. Intermediate level, low, also used to help plan the story out, so outlining. I'm going to stick with my original conception, which is that I'm gonna have the outline done by Saturday. Okay, SWAK story outline here. Twine and Renpai. So with the outline done, what I can do, so I said we're gonna use temporary stuff, right? Yeah, so we'll stick with using the temporary stuff. I can reasonably start. I'll put here the rough assets. So if I take the outline, I can also start working on the story next. So here. So I'll just put so I'll start that here. I want to say, optimistically, I want to get it done by Monday, but I'm going to put this as the deadline. And in this way, I can see how many sprites I'm going to need, and how many, like, how many environments that's going to involve and what CGs I'm going to need. Character sprites, rough. Actually, let's try something here. I don't think I can do a date duration, so I have to have a start end note. Okay. Oops. I think that's one of those limitations that Obsidian has, where it's not like Notion, where I might actually be able to get like all of this. Oop, I need to take this back. Put it back. Let's move this over here. You know what? Let's I think same day. And the reason why is because I can arguably start the script right after I finish the outline if I'm smart with my time. Yeah, if I can start some of the outline end of today, okay. Or I start the outline with whatever time I have left on Saturday, finish it on Sunday. Start the script, I mean, after outline. Yeah, start script after outline on Saturday, finish script on Sunday, and then I can start concepting the roughs. Well, not concepting, because it's still a little too late for concepting. I mean, you kind of have to concept art a little bit. Start doing roughs. And then I'll do here environment or background. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's do this around here. I'll probably do CGs maybe earlier, like a week earlier, to give myself more time, since the level of detail needs to be a lot higher. Because once the script is done, there's no reason to not go straight into prototyping. Yes. The reason why is because prototyping is going to be part of RenPy. Which means I need more time, since my proficiency level is low and complexity is high based off of my current proficiency level. So I need most of this time, really, to do prototyping and implementation. Like, at the earliest, maybe this weekend is when I implement. Or when I start to implement. You know what? With how simple I want it to be, I just want it to be your standard visual novel, text dialogue, choices. You have a point system in there for the number of choices I may end up using, and that will link to the level of complexity. Why is my bitrate so low? I really hope that the quality for this isn't so crap. Notice something distracting. Oh no. Okay. I hope that's fine. Okay. So if I implement, then arguably testing just happens. I'm gonna say testing starts here. No, let's start it a day early. I'm at work that day. Let's do testing here. Because I want to be able to, like, you should be actively testing all throughout, but like final QA should be for everything. Everything is done. And I'm just spending the rest of this time doing QA checks, final submission, early check submission. Yeah. So early check submission this is the earliest date I want to be able to submit it. This is my last day I should be able to submit it. Some would say get it in earlier than that, because that way, you know, you can get notified. Like, if everything is good, if this final QA is good, I might push it in as early as the 26th. But this is just to account for any delays caused by other stuff happening, like work, like personal life, that interferes with my ability to do this and this. Because again, this is going to take up most of my time. Ideally, I would have started that on the 1st, but I couldn't because I didn't plan for this. So hopefully that's a set. Okay. Now we have that. Let's fix this. And now we got a bunch of notes that need organization. No, I'm not gonna put that there. I'm gonna put that here. Yes, these are all tasks. If you're wondering why I'm doing all of that, it's because I might do a data view to do a lot of projects at the same time, and I mean, there's probably a better way. Like, I could probably just do show project, but I'll just leave that for now. We're out of time! Oh no, I have to get ready for work now. But we've pretty much done it. We've made our project calendar. Well, I've made my project calendar. And hopefully by end of day, I'm able to actually get a strong idea of what the gameplay and story is going to be like. So I have been your host, Stray Bats. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day / evening, and I hope to see you here again soon, whether it's taking special time out of your day to watch live or to take time to watch it at any time available. I have VODs up on YouTube around the next day. Still thinking about how I want the launch to go, and I don't know if I have it set on Twitch to just have the VODs available, so not sure there. But thank you again for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!